like that. Not out here. Ain't nobody should be looking for this little baby but me. Motherfucker, that's the first time I ever seen you. Talking about you out here looking for him. You're out there answering phones and trying to run for governor, motherfucker. How you gonna tell me, dog, that to stay home? You didn't say that shit when you called me for my video. You didn't say that. You didn't say that when you called me for my videos, dog. So don't play my shit in court. Don't play my shit in court then, Chavianco. Don't play my shit in court then. Do not play my shit in court. My shit is inaccessible, homie. How dare you?
How dare you? Shout out to everybody in the building. Welcome in, y'all. So y'all see today we talking about Emmanuel Haro. Shout out to my BFF in the building. Shout out to everybody on the replay. And shout out to everybody in the bushes. Y'all, please drop down and smack that thumbs up. So we've been covering the Emmanuel Haro case. And there's been a lot going on with the case. The last time we talked about it, we were listening to the press conference, even though we didn't hear the entire press conference. Some of the things that happened, you just seen him. That was that day, the very day that they had the press conference. So literally they made comments at Ahmed, which is on Natita, and he feels like they pretty much coming down hard on him, telling him he should stay at home. Everything that y'all just heard him say. There's other updates in the case as well. Emmanuel's grandmother, well, no, not Emmanuel, his sister, Promise Faith, the 7-year-old who was, she was left bedridden by Jake and the mother of the child. Her name was Vanessa. Her mother has come forth and she did an interview with the Sun newspaper. So we're going to go over that too. But shout out to everybody. A salute to Tone. Thank you for coming in. How you doing today, fam? Yes, happy Sunday to everybody in the building and everybody that'll catch this replay too. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, BFF. I appreciate that. If y'all could please just drop down and smack the thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you have not. And so, yeah, I felt like it was wrong. We heard it live, and I literally said in my last live stream, I'm like, I seen how the misunderstanding happened as far as Emmanuel being found. It appeared that he was found, but clearly he wasn't, because there wasn't a coroner out there. There was no tape. We didn't see that. I mean, and I don't even know if we would have been able to see it from the highway or not. So I did see how they drew the conclusion that he may have been found. But the truth is he has not been found yet. And also we read that the timeline that they're using is the 5th of August, between the August 5th and August 14th. From my understanding, that timeline appears to be lining up with a funeral that they had. There was Rebecca's mother had spoke on the last live stream that I did. I played a video where she was talking and mentioned that they had a funeral on, they had just had a funeral for her grandson. So I believe that they drew the conclusion that Emmanuel had been missing from the 5th is directly connected to that funeral. They knew that, the baby was not at the funeral, and there's actually videos out of people asking her, where is the baby, when she was at the funeral. So I think that's why they're coming up with that timeline. Now, I don't know if it's new information that came out since I looked at that, but that is what I'm looking at, the timeline. And so let me see what I have right quick. Okay, so all right, so we pretty much left off where let me see, what is this one? Okay, so we pretty much left off where they had found the area where Emmanuel was at, or where they allegedly said that they threw him at. I'm not sure exactly what they said, but let's listen at what this guy has to say.
Police most likely already grabbed his body because they were here for about an hour or two, and you know, Jake said that he got the trash bag, threw it over. He threw it over, landed somewhere around here in this area, and this is where the police were. So they most likely got the body already. And well, let's hope that's the truth, and you know, lay baby Emmanuel to rest. But I'm out here for you guys. I'm trying to, if the baby hasn't been found, I'm out here trying to find baby Emmanuel. It's really hard to walk through here. Like getting cut through these bushes and stuff.
So we know now the baby had not been found yet, and so he's still not found. Although the DA actually said in the press conference that they are pretty sure where the baby is, but they just haven't found him yet. So I don't know exactly, unless he's saying that he's in a landfill somewhere. I mean, I'm kind of confused on that, but we do know that he's not been found. Okay, and let's see what this one. That's just him walking. That
right after police started to think there were inconsistencies and something fishy. That 2-year-old was removed from the Haro home and is in that cousin's home. So cousin now has 3 of Jake Haro's babies. And again, it's Jake's ex-wife's cousin.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that we understood this, because I hear people saying Jake's cousin. This woman is not Jake's cousin. It's his ex-wife's cousin. And that woman is even taking in Jake's kids that are not connected to her cousin. That's big. That is big. So I want to go over what the grandmother is talking about. Yes, justice for Emmanuel. Shout out to Mouthpiece in the building. How you doing, fam? Okay, I see y'all chopping it up in the chat. I love to see that. Everybody talking. He dropping BFS F flower. Okay. All right, I'm doing good. How's everybody doing on this Soul Food Sunday? Man, I'm doing good. I am doing really good. I was planning on just grinding out today, but I might actually go. I'm finding out that it's a whole taco cookout going on today, so I might leave and go check that out. But right now, let's get into what the grandmother had to say. Now, from my understanding, okay, her name is Margarita Avena, whose daughter was previously married to the accused. Now, how do y'all feel about the ex-wife? Do y'all think that she was just as guilty as Jake? I mean, apparently, allegedly, she was gone when it happened, when it appeared to have happened, and she came back, but then woke up in the middle of the night saying that there was something wrong with the baby. Told him to touch the baby's back, and the ribs, all the ribs, and all that stuff that was messed up. There's no way that anybody wouldn't have known that the baby was not okay. In my opinion, I don't have all of the information. Verbatim. I don't have the paperwork or anything like that. But how do you not know that your baby have all of these problems, broken ribs, everything that was wrong with her? There's no way you could know. But it narrowed down to, she was breastfeeding the baby and the baby wouldn't feed. She asked Jake to touch her back and all of this stuff, and something cracked and all this. So let's see what the mother is saying. And again, this is coming from the U.S. Sun. It says the father of an accused of murdering his 7-month-old son has been branded the devil. This is what the grandmother had to say by the former mother-in-law after he left his older daughter with brain damage years before. I mean, and then finding out that they're saying that the DA undercharged. That's the reason why he didn't get and on top of it, the judge was lenient on him, but they didn't seek the right charges first. And that was the biggest problem from what I'm understanding. Everybody had their hand in this dude being let out, in my opinion. Like, who sees this case with these charges and say, oh, let's give him child cruelty, not give him the highest charges that's going to give him life in prison or at least 25. I mean, he took her life, her value of life. She can't do anything for herself. 100% dependent on somebody else. And he just got the walk so he could do it again. All right. So yeah, I'm disgusted by this guy, and we all should be. But okay, so let's get into what she said. Let's see. And I forgot to put her picture in here, but right after I read this, I can put it in. So Margarita Avena, she's the mother of Vanessa Avena, whose child was left severely disabled after an incident with her ex-husband, Jake Horrible, in 2018. Okay, so they told police he was kidnapped from a California parking lot while Rebecca was changing his diaper and joined the search before the arrest days later. The Riverside County District Attorney now claims Emmanuel died from child abuse, but his remains has not been located. So it recently emerged that the dad, Jake, had a 2013 felony conviction for child cruelty. I mean, come on. Those were the wrong charges. Absolutely. And it was stemming from an arrest in Hemet, California, while he was married to his ex-wife, Vanessa Avena. On October 13, 2018, we read these charges on the first live stream that I did about this case, I do believe. If it wasn't the first one, it was the second. But it says on July 13, 2018, their 10-week-old daughter was admitted to the hospital, and doctors told police the little girl had an acute fractured rib, 6 ribs with healing fractures, a skull fracture, brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a fractured leg bone that was healing. So, with those charges alone, there's no way a mother would not know that something is severely wrong with her baby. There's no way. I mean, we can't give nobody a pass on this because the people that was supposed to take care of her, the ones that were supposed to love her the most and make sure that she's protected the most, did nothing. They hurt her the most. And so I can't give nobody a pass on this. I mean, because how do you not know? How do you not know? So this baby had both acute injuries and old ones that were healing. So, I mean, come on. This is a baby, a 10-week-old baby. So an officer wrote in an affidavit for a warrant that the findings were indicative of abuse. So head trauma, child physical abuse, and nutritional neglect. Okay. And why was it? Of course, after they injured the baby wouldn't eat. So I'm sure it was some nutritional neglect because they were so busy trying to save their behinds that they didn't want to take the baby to the hospital. But when there was no chance of not taking her, I guess they eventually said, forget it, we'll take her. She turned a blind eye. She had to. There's no way. And her baby lost her sight. And ironically, I'm hearing that this Vanessa, she worked at Walmart in the vision department. Now, that's the wildest thing I think I heard. Well, no, that ain't the wildest thing, but it's pretty wild, right? You work at the vision center in Walmart and your baby lost her vision because of your neglect. So we ain't giving her no passes. And Jake worked at Walmart too. Salute to you, Mouthpiece. I appreciate that. He says smash the likes up because the queen is cooking. Shout out to you, fam. I appreciate it. And y'all, please smack that thumbs up just like Mouthpiece suggested. All right, so Jake reportedly blamed the baby's injuries on Vanessa. So both eventually pleaded guilty to the charge in 2023, but escaped jail. So yeah, it's true that they spent 1 day in prison and then they got basically out on a work release program. We heard the guy saying that, the DA. So following his arrest this month, Vanessa's mother, Margarita Avena, gave an emotional interview to the U.S. Sun about her granddaughter's terrifying ordeal. I knew he would do something like this again. They blame my daughter, but Jake is the devil, Margarita claimed, as she broke down in tears. And he gets away with murder. He got away with what he did to my granddaughter. The little girl, now a 7-year-old, was adopted by Vanessa's cousin along with another son of theirs. Riverside District Attorney Michael Hestron, we heard him in a press conference, and he said earlier this week that the poor 7-year-old is permanently bedridden and has cerebral palsy as a result of a long-term child abuse. Margarita said, I always wanted justice. I leave it to God. I think this is justice, but this didn't have to happen to baby Emmanuel. I knew he would do this. I knew he would do something like this again, is what she said. He does the hurting and blame the women. Exactly. But as a woman, because he lays hands on them too. But baby, it got to be a stop to it when it comes down to your child. I don't give a damn. You better lay down and get rolled over for yours. Like, you do not let somebody do anything to harm your baby. I don't give a damn what you decide to deal with yourself or how you decide to let somebody put their hands on you. But nah, the line is drawn, and it should be, for even the most abused woman when it comes down to their child. I don't give a damn. That is just sick. A real mother is gonna run in front of a bullet to save her child. The judge that gave him probation needs to be brought up on charges. I feel that way too. And I said that in my last live. Welcome in, Louise. I appreciate that. But yeah, I said that in my last live. The judge should be tried. Come on, man. Like, I mean, but what I'm also hearing that the DA, the district attorney's office, could have they could have disputed it. They could have appealed it or something. They could have asked for some other charges or for the judge to do his job. You know, I'm no lawyer. I don't know how it worked exactly, but from my understanding, they could have appealed that or something. But instead, this guy and the mother was let out. And this allowed it to happen again. And let's keep reading. Okay, so Margarita said, I always wanted justice. I leave it to God. I think this is justice, but did not have to happen to baby Emmanuel. I knew he would do something like this. This poor baby has been traumatizing, but I knew he would do it. Look what he did to my granddaughter. I hope he pays. He has destroyed lives. And although Vanessa eventually pleaded guilty, her mother claims she was abused by Jake and would never harm their child, insisting she wasn't in her right mind. Well, if she wasn't in her right mind, then you don't know what she would do because she's not in her right mind. And I'm assuming that the grandmother wasn't there, so she really don't know what happened. But she's being mama bear for her baby, her child, right? She don't want to believe that her child would do something like that. But even if she didn't do it, she didn't do nothing to help when she should have. And it sounds like it's a lot of drug activity that goes on in with Jake and his women and stuff. And it may be what clouds their judgment. So, although Vanessa eventually pleaded guilty, her mother claimed she was abused by Jake and would never harm their child, insisting she wasn't in her right mind. My daughter is nothing compared to what they are saying, she said. It's very, very upsetting. It hurts. So she's coming forward to defend her daughter, right? So this Jake's arrest brings back everything that happened. I can't even sleep. So yeah, look how it works though. Like 7 years later, all of this stuff comes back around because it's news to us. We didn't know this. We didn't know them. All we knew that it was a baby missing, that and this mama, her story, because she came out first. It made absolutely no sense. So yeah, it's all coming back full circle, and everybody that had their hands in them getting out should definitely be tried, resign, do something, right? I think I heard something about that. I'm gonna have to research that, but I think I heard something like that. But my daughter is nothing compared to, yeah, my daughter is nothing compared to what they are saying. She said it's very upsetting. It hurts. Mm-hmm. And this Jake's arrest brings back everything that happened. I can't even sleep. I don't think my daughter was all there. See? She wasn't, because her response to this wasn't the right way. Her response wasn't that of a mama bear, okay? I don't think my daughter was all there. He would tell her that nobody loved her. She was abused. But she should have known that somebody loved her if she grew up in a loving home. But I do understand that people get with these mind controlling, master manipulative, dangerous ass type of people, and then you add drugs on top of whatever. I mean, what else was it that made her get like that? And did he? It sounds like he probably alienated her from her family and all that. But I mean, God, man. They are relentless. They are relentless because I just had a flash of my cousin. They can be relentless. But of course, the things I know now, I learned after she was killed. Okay. I didn't know all this shit. But they can be like this. And they make you believe that they big, bad, and tough and can whoop everybody ass. You know what I'm saying? Like these bastards ain't shit. Okay, let me come back. I would grab her because she said, I don't think my daughter was all there. He would tell her that nobody loved her. She was abused. I would grab her and say, you need to leave. You need to do something. she could never do anything. So she still was in contact with her mother. She wasn't coming to her senses, even though her child was being hurt by this bastard. She couldn't bring herself to leave him. My daughter would never touch her kids. She has another kid, a baby. You should see how she is with this kid if the baby even has a scratch. Now, they released them with nothing. I mean, because usually when you have something like this and your kid, this baby didn't just get taken by the system. She almost lost her life because of them. And she was able to have more kids just like Jake. Just like Jake, she was able to have another kid. She was given another chance. And this baby has no chances at life besides what she already has. And we know that that's 3% brain activity. I don't give a damn what a grown person going through. This was a baby. And she was the mother. Who else was supposed to protect her? That's crazy. My daughter is still going through this, not having her children. She wanted her kids. Her daughter wanted her life. I'm sorry, like, nobody gets passes. This was a 10-week-old baby who did not ask to be here. And she was not protected by her mother. Vanessa, through her mother, has declined to comment on the case and has allegedly hired a lawyer as she speaks to the police about her experience with the ex. So she's being questioned. She has her lawyer. She can't be retried for what happened to her baby. This is sad because she wants a second chance, but her baby don't get one. That's it. So I don't feel sorry for her. I can't. Not when you compare it to a 10-week-old baby. I can't feel sorry for her. A warrant from the 2018 incident alleges Vanessa had left her home to drop another child off to school and returned 40 minutes later. Jake claimed the baby had a fever and he gave her a Tylenol, after which he put her down. Yeah, literally, he put her down. The document claims that Jake eventually admitted to Vanessa that he had dropped the child on the sink and her chest hit the center divider of a dual sink. But she never showed any signs of injury. Get out of here. Get out of here. What would make him all of a sudden want to go bathe the baby? What, all of a sudden he wanted to go bathe the baby? No, he hurt the baby. And then he did what the typical thing is that these people do, is put the child in some freaking water like that's gonna make a freaking difference. This is pissing me off today. I have seen this with Anaya Day Garrett. They always want to freaking bathe the child. They always want to put them in water like that's gonna help. It's not gonna help. So he admitted to her that he dropped the baby. And how long was it before she took the baby to the hospital? There's no way you gonna drop a 10-week-old baby. Drop. I'm talking about drop, but we know that's not what happened. What he did was probably threw the baby against the wall, floor, whatever, because he was mad because, the baby might have been crying. Then after that, I guarantee that's when he put the baby in the water after the child was already hurt, and then claim that's how you hurt the child. Yeah. It's a lot about what I'm reading that's pissing me off. Because you got a grandmother, you have a grandmother that is defending her child, which is the mother of Promised Faith, who did not defend her. And they're trying to say that it's because she was abused by Jake. But that should be all the more reason why you would protect your child, because you know what it's like to be hit. You know what it's like to be hurt. So the document claims that Jake eventually admitted to Vanessa that he had dropped the child in a sink, and her chest hit the center divider of the dual sink. But she never showed signs. So they allegedly went to bed hours later. Now, this is why it's Vanessa's fault, right? They said Vanessa was, well, even before this, because we got to remember that by the time they did take the baby to the hospital, they said the baby had healing ribs or fractures or whatever, and new ones. So they didn't take her the first time, but that something else happened to her. And then they decided to take her. They did something else to her. Then they decided to take her. That's what I'm reading. They allegedly went to bed for hours, but Vanessa woke him up in the middle of the night claiming something was wrong with the baby. Something was wrong with the baby all night. Something was wrong with the baby before y'all fell asleep. Because if he can admit to dropping her earlier, then he dropped her and she got hurt then, and they did freaking nothing. They allegedly went to bed for hours, but Vanessa woke him up in the middle of the night claiming something was wrong with the baby. Margarita alleges that Jake only told Vanessa he dropped the baby after she woke him up. Okay, so Vanessa didn't know that he had dropped her earlier. He only told her after something was going on. She didn't ask first, though. Wouldn't you ask first? Because the baby wouldn't eat. And that is what alerted her, allegedly. The baby wouldn't eat. Why? I'm sure the baby was crying the whole time. I'm sure the baby was very upset. They went to bed for hours, and this baby was in agonizing pain. She alleges that Jake only told her after. So this grandmother is sticking. Margarita said he only told her after. Yeah, come on, man. That baby told you first, though. I got a call at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she says, "Mom, I'm in the hospital. The baby doesn't want to feed." She was breastfeeding. Yeah. So the baby was in so much pain. Of course, she don't want nothing. And so how long did they go? How long did that baby go without eating? Because they said it was nutritional issues there. She said Jake didn't want me to bring the baby. Jake did not want her to take the baby to the hospital. So do that mean Jake wasn't there at the hospital? I think the baby was convulsing like a seizure, and that's when she called me. She's like, Mom, you need to come and take care of my kids. It's bad, Mom. Just come. So wait a minute. So Jake didn't want to go to the hospital and he didn't want to watch the kids? Like, wait. Or did Jake go to the hospital? Because we just heard her say Jake didn't want her to. I think the baby, yeah, come on. Convulsing. I go over there. She called me again, and I said Jake had admitted to dropping. Wait, I go over there, and she called me again and said Jake had admitted to dropping the baby. I'm like, what? Why didn't he tell you that from the beginning? So that's why she's gathering that she didn't know the first time, because she called her twice. Jake switched and threatened her, said, I'm going to make sure they take your kids away and you will die in jail. This bastard. What? When they went to the hospital in Hemet, the doctors said the baby had fractured bones. They took her to another hospital, and I guess they used fluorescent lights and saw marks on her neck and stuff, like he shook the baby. She didn't know that soon as she got back home. I know that they said she was gone for 40 minutes, right? Dropping a kid off or something. She didn't notice when she came back. She said when my daughter found all that out, she was like, what did you do to my baby? What did you do? Get out of here, man. Like, we're talking about a baby. That baby was crying. That baby was in pain. That baby had, man, come on, man. We supposed to believe that she didn't know? How do you not know? Unless you was high as a kite and just couldn't tell because of that. I don't know. I don't know. That's crazy. So they, like, it says they took her to another hospital and I guess used fluorescent lights and saw marks on her neck and stuff, and he shook her. When my daughter found all this out, she's like, what did you do to my baby? What did you do? She'd taken the baby to the doctor before because there were brown patches underneath her eyes and she didn't know what was wrong with her. But they said everything was fine. There was nothing wrong with her. Come on, man. What? Anyway. Margarita claims she tried to get the previous medical records for the child for her court case, but could not obtain them. The grandmother alleges Vanessa lived with her until she fell pregnant with her and Jake's first child. And she was unaware for months that they had secretly married. So that's crazy. I mean, it was so easy for Vanessa to turn her back on her mother and her whole entire family, get pregnant, move out. So she said she lived with her mother up until she got pregnant. So how old was she when she got pregnant? So she lived with her. I'm assuming that she lived with her from the time she always ever lived with her. She moved out with her mom with this guy and instantly turned her back on her mother for this dude. How do you live with your mother to adulthood and soon as you get out, you just like turn your back on your mama? Like, that's crazy. I don't give a damn. Look, and I had a cousin that was went through this stuff, and my cousin didn't show no signs of this bullshit right here. I mean, she kept it away. She kept the fact that she was being hurt from us, That's for damn sure. But wasn't nothing happening to her kids. And so I don't give her no damn excuse. Period. Even though that happened to my cousin, you know, I just can't give her no passes on that. I don't care what it is. If you protect your child at all costs, you take the blow before you let somebody else, or you whatever. Like, soon as she got back, the right thing to do would have been to take her kid out of the hospital. I mean, take her kid to the hospital. Get rid of D Bapto, please. Thank you. Please get rid of that troll. We don't need you here. And I'm going to look at the chat in a minute. I just happen to look down. But yeah, let me finish this and we're going to get into it. But the grandmother alleges that Vanessa lived with her until she fell pregnant. So that would be from childhood. That's how it's looking to me. So that's crazy that you, soon as you leave, you get that dude got to be, I mean, okay, he's a master manipulator. But how is he able to do all of this? Get you to turn on your own mother. Get you to ignore things that you should be paying attention to. Get you to be a part of unaliving your own child, or damn near unaliving her, because you protected him by not getting help the first time. That's the only way you can have healing fractures and new ones, if it happened more than once. And you're not going to convince me that you didn't know that. It's crazy. And it's so unfair to the baby who never asked to be here. Let me move this right quick. I'm just looking at this too, because the last time we were live, we talked about this. And I'm just trying to figure out what would make Jake put this on his brother's GoFundMe, him and his brother, instead of his brother and his 8 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would make you do that? We ain't so sure about what happened to his brother yet, but yeah. Anyway, this dude is a real piece of work. And he find women that then lost their damn mind too, enough to let this just roll with this. Like, so yeah, she lived with her mother until she got pregnant, and then she goes off and get married and didn't tell her mother or anything. So it says the grandmother alleges Vanessa lived with her until she fell pregnant with her and Jake's first child. And she was unaware for months that they had secretly married. She said, I couldn't talk to her. I couldn't see her. He isolated her from her family. He didn't want her to work. She used to work at Walmart at the Vision Center. She was a good worker, and he met her there. She met this dude at Walmart, and then this just changed her life. So she couldn't work, eat, sleep, take care of kids, do nothing. All she had to do was be his slave for now on. Like, that's crazy. This dude, he a real piece of work to be able to get these women to do this. Look like he need life. Sometimes I would go and visit her, and she wouldn't even open the door. So I didn't know if she had bruises, if she was bruised and beat up. That, I mean, god dang, it didn't take long for her to turn on her mother, did it? That's crazy. What would make her be that way that quick? Dang. I mean, I would try to take food, and she would make excuses that they weren't home. Sometimes I blame myself. Wow, that's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. So then she says, Margarita claims her daughter's story was never even believed, she said. So this dude is a master. He is dangerous. This is a very dangerous type of person, that he can convince anybody he talked to believe what he says, right? Let me see what y'all saying. I'm going to start from the bottom. Controlling. Absolutely. You know that. Weak-minded females. Man, I mean, come on. When it comes down to your child, you got to snap out of whatever you going through and protect your children at all costs. I don't give a damn. You see what's going to happen to you if you don't. Jerk Jake. Snaky Jakey. What the hell? Yeah, we gonna miss that one. Definitely that. He's a liar. He's a dangerous person. I wonder what made him such a bad person. Can't even imagine that Gab said, welcome in, Gab. Salute to you, fam. Welcome to everybody in the bushes. Shout out to y'all. Y'all please smack the thumbs up for me and subscribe to the channel. Welcome in, Rick. Thank you for being here. Man, oh man. Welcome in, Stay Strong. This is in California. San Bernardino, California. Yeah, y'all, please get the thumbs up if y'all have not smacked the thumbs up. All right, so I'm looking to see what y'all saying. Wow, how can they love each other and not their children together? Make it make sense. That ain't love. It's all about manipulation and control is what it sounds like. How do you love anybody and not love what is a part of you? Welcome in, Stay Strong. You know, coming up when parents did not want a kid, they would leave them at the local church, whatever happened with that. Exactly. Or leave them. Right now, they got it where you could leave them at a hospital or a fire station or something. Like, I mean, there's no reason for this to happen to a baby. I mean, I'm sure the grandmother or somebody else would have took the child. No, he don't want that. Just break the child, hurt the baby. Like, what the hell? And then, yeah, blame it, totally turn it on somebody else. But how do you be a judge and say, yeah, they need time. They don't need to go to jail for this. Let's give them a second chance. Don't mess up again. But we already know that he violated his parole. And he had a court date coming up in September. And he should have been in jail up until that, once you violate, he should have just got picked up. Like, I mean, I don't know how it all worked, but I mean, come on. So opening old wounds, it says Margarita claims her daughter's story was never believed, and she even pleaded guilty and served community service. Community service. So they gave them a job of serving a community and they couldn't even serve their household. Like, yeah, make that make sense. They already proved that they can't serve their own damn household, but serve the community, and let's let them out for doing this to this helpless baby. And they had to attend child engagement classes. Well, we see how that all worked out, don't we? We see how that worked out. Where's baby Emmanuel? And look at baby Promise. She was only a baby. She's 7 years old now. And she can't even see anything. Do anything. Nothing. And they felt the need to let him out. I would never understand that. Never. And so this is Rebecca's mother, who definitely, you know. Wait, is this a Rebecca mom? Or yeah, Rebecca's mother. Yep. So we got the two mothers on here defending their children. Now this is his ex-wife. And like I said, a lot of people keep getting it wrong, thinking that this is Jake's cousin who has their children, and it's not. It's the cousin of this woman who man, I mean, that's a lot. But it's about the kids. And this picture, this picture of the baby where you can tell that he's normal. I found the full picture, and it's Jake that's holding this baby. Because I wasn't sure, y'all. I looked at this picture. I said, I'm not even sure if this is the same baby. It is. This baby was normal. And they did this. The grandmother said they were allowed to visit. They were allowed visits to the children for a while, but they fell out with the cousin who adopted them and have not been seen them for years. Margarita claims that she was desperate to adopt them, and she was desperate to adopt them. She bought a bigger house thinking that she was going to get them, and she didn't. Yeah, so it sounds like these kids are who they should have been with. And also, that's right, the other kid is also Vanessa's, right? The one with the alcohol, the fetal, so, yeah. Anyway, I ain't even got to say it because I already said it, because I don't give her no pass. You got to care about your child from the moment you find out you're pregnant. And you got to do certain things to make sure that you protect them, even in your womb. And she didn't even do that. So I'm supposed to give her a pass on this? Nah. Nope. The grandmother said they were allowed to visit for a while until they fell out with the cousin. And what could that have been about? I wonder. Was it something that they did to make them fall out with the cousin? I mean, yeah, who would that baby? I wonder, since they were able to visit her for a while, how did the child act around her? If Promise Faith would be have some type of reactions to them being there. I just wonder, because I wonder if she remembers what happened and stuff. What happened to her? I wonder if she could remember anything. Well, she wouldn't remember what happened to her because she was only 10 weeks. So she wouldn't remember them at all. But, I mean, she has cerebral palsy. So she has 3% brain activity. So I just answered my own question. She can't do anything. Get this idiot out of my chat, please. Yeah, that person. Please get them out my chat if they ain't already gone. Shout out to T Beezy. How you doing, fam? This is crazy. Pissing me off right here. So the grandmother bought a bigger house thinking that she was going to get Promise Faith and the other kid that her daughter drank with. And she said, we miss the children. My daughter is missing her kids. Margarita and her daughter probably had plenty of those. Margarita saw the interview of Jake appearing distressed on TV with his new wife, Rebecca. after their son went missing. But she says she didn't believe their story or fake tears. Yeah, none of us did. Like, and just like we don't really believe this with her daughter. Like, I mean, her daughter actually could have never hit the baby. She just ignored it and didn't get help for the child. That makes her just as guilty. I mean, you can't do that. I don't give a damn. She said, I saw all that. I knew he was lying. He's a liar and a manipulator. And I knew it. And you can tell anybody that, you know, he can manipulate the courthouse. Like, how did he manipulate the judge? I'm just so lost. He got to know somebody. Somebody is working for him for sure. Definitely pray for these babies. And so Margarita, she saw the interview, knew he was lying. We all did. And so Jake and Rebecca are each charged, and we know this. They ain't going nowhere. So yeah, she said, I saw all that. He was lying. He's a liar and a master and a manipulator. This has opened old wounds. To me, I wouldn't want him to be sentenced to death. That's an easy way out. I want him to go to prison for the rest of his life. Jake and Rebecca each are charged with felony murder with malice, which is, I mean, God, along with an additional misdemeanor charge of making a false police report. So they remain in custody on $1 million bond and have denied unaliving their son through jailhouse interviews. And according to, like, there was a person that interviewed Jake, and I mean, according to that, and I still feel like it's manipulative, that he's still been a master manipulator in there, talking about he love Rebecca and all of this stuff. No, he don't. He just don't want her to believe that he rolling over, but he definitely gonna do that because that's his MO. He did it before. He's gonna do it again exactly the way he did it the first time. So their official arraignment is going to be September 4th of 2025 at 8:30 a.m. And then it goes on to say Margarita says Vanessa, who also has an older child from a previous relationship, along with her new baby, struggled to get her life back on track, but is now doing well. I talk to my daughter every day to see how she's doing, she said. She's got her own place and everything. She works again and has a new partner, her baby daddy, but she doesn't let anyone be with her kid. So she's still making memories and babies and, you know, dropping it like it's hot and all that. And this baby has no quality of life. And it just blows me away, you know, that, okay, so Jake was on parole, right? No stipulations with this parole. Like usually when your child is taken by CPS, which this would have been the case with Promise Faith, they usually take any child you have after that. Why ain't that happen? I don't know. It's something wrong with the system, big time. She was found guilty of that. Whether she claimed to have done it or not. And she was able to, both of them were able to just go on with their life like nothing ever happened and have more children. And she's got her own place and everything. She should, as a grown-ass woman. I'm sorry, I just don't have nothing. I feel very bad for the babies, which won't allow me to feel that for her. Yeah, she works again and has a new partner. So she got a new start at life. Her baby don't. And that's messed up. Because she turned her back on her mama, her family, and every damn body when she met Jake. And that's some fake ass, man, listen. I'm sorry. Not sorry. They don't always take kids after one was taken. It depends on the city. Yeah, I'm sure, but they should. If conditions were better after the other were born, they could keep them. Well, I mean, it just, to me, it sounds like this, in this situation, it didn't work the way that the laws are supposed to work at all. I'm really not understanding. They got undercharged and they got out and they did 1 day in prison, and there's a baby that can't do anything, got 3% brain activity. So I don't know what they doing in San Bernardino. These so-called women, so-called mothers. Exactly. Before the others were born, I meant. Yeah, man, this baby. They need to they need to take this case and change the damn law. That's what they need to do. Then we have heard about Riverside CPS with Orrin and Orson and the Allie Carter case. Now, see, I didn't realize where they were adopted from, the West Boys, but I definitely been comparing them to this case because that was the first case that I had worked on, the first child case that I really got attached to on YouTube, and I was 7 months in when I covered that case, and they got a lot of breaks too. It's the same thing. I mean, they sat there and act like the kid, oh, we don't know what happened. They came up, disappeared from the backyard, and yeah, they was gone for 4 months before they ever pulled that stunt. And so I don't know if these people learned from that case or what, but they could have did better than that. And those babies still haven't been found. Because if you don't know where they came up missing from, and you don't know when it happened, you good luck. I mean, they find stuff from cell phone stuff, and it ain't just old police work and all that. No, it's more like technology that's helping them solve these cases. And if they don't have the right dates and times, then it's gonna be a problem with that. So the DA undercharged, and then they was able to go. That is what I'm hearing. And let me do this right quick. That really had me upset reading that. And then you got the press conference that happened, and you have YouTubers and social media folks helping, and then they get dogged in the process. But then the DA, he blamed the judge, but from my understanding, they undercharged. So that gave wiggle room, right?
You should have said that. Nah, out here, ain't nobody should be looking for this little baby but me. Motherfucker, that's the first time I ever seen you. Talking about you out here looking for him. You're out there answering phones and trying to run for governor, motherfucker. How you gonna tell me, dog, that to stay home? You didn't say that shit when you called me for my video. You didn't say that. You didn't say that when you called me for my videos, dog. So don't play my shit in court. Don't play my shit in court then, Chabianco. Don't play my shit in court then. Do not play my shit in court. My shit is inaccessible, homie. How dare you? You should have said that.
Yes, so all that was him storming out of the press conference, and we had it planned the day that it actually came out, right? But I don't even think we watched the whole thing because I was kind of skipping around. I was just getting off work. I came in kind of late. So I'm about to pull up the press conference because I have not went back and listened to it all, and I noticed that they actually posted it themselves after they seen everybody was talking about this. I'm talking about San Bernardino Sheriff's Office themselves posted it. Because I didn't even know what had happened. But I guess he asked the question when he was in there. Hold on, y'all. Oh, dang, I ain't even... Give me a second. Y'all, please smack the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Set all notifications so you know every time we go live. Oh, shoot. What the heck?
My name is Mike Hester, and I'm the Riverside County District Attorney. Welcome. Can't get into the evidence, but yeah, this case is going to
Join Sleuth Nation membership and become a sleuth for special members emojis, special badges by your name, and sneak peek videos. Please subscribe and press that notification bell and thumbs up. Please.
My name is Mike Hester, and I'm the Riverside County District Attorney. Welcome. I want to do a couple of things today. First thing I want to do is introduce the individuals that are here on stage with me. First off, to my far left, we have Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Sergeant Nicholas Clark. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. We have Assistant District Attorney Brandon Smith. And then myself. So someone who's not here, I want to thank as well, or introduce as well, Jason Anderson, San Bernardino County District Attorney. I want to start by thanking these gentlemen up here. I want to thank the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office for their professionalism and their cooperation and the great work that they've done here so far. I want to thank Jason Anderson and the San Bernardino DA's office. His Bureau of Investigation has recently formed a high-tech crimes unit. They were instrumental in helping us with this investigation. Let me tell you how things are going to go today. There's going to be...
Oh, hold on. I always forget. Welcome in, Desiree. Thank you for being here. How you doing? Y'all, please smack the thumbs up if you haven't. And let me play my disclaimer. This channel may feature copyrighted video and audio content under the guidelines of fair use permitted by copyright statute for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All content and credit go to the original creators. No copyright infringement is intended.
Several individuals that make statements up here, and then when we're all done with the short statements, I will come back up and we will have a question and answer. I will take questions. I will take all of your questions till there are no more questions. Having said that, there's a lot that we can't say, that I can't say, that nobody up here can say. And the reason is that the defendants in this case have been charged with crimes, serious crimes. And so now they have a presumption of innocence that applies to them. They're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I'm not allowed to prove my case in the court of public opinion. And so there's a lot that we can't say in terms of the facts and the evidence. For that, you will have to come to the court and to the various hearings and see how the case plays out. However, having said that, it's appropriate to have a press conference because it was the defendants in this case that had a press conference first. And they did so in order to tell the public, the media, and ultimately law enforcement that their child had been kidnapped, when in fact, that's not what occurred. And so we're here to clear up some misconceptions and to explain how this case unfolded in terms of the investigation. It involves two counties working very well together. I know everybody up here on this stage, we work well together normally. But in this case, I'm very proud of the work that was done by Riverside County Sheriff, San Bernardino County Sheriff, my office, and also the District Attorney's Office in San Bernardino County. All right, so we'll go ahead and kick this off. I'm going to bring up first San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes.
Thank you, Mike. To Mike's point, I want to thank all of you in the media for covering this, specifically the parents' initial statements to the public while we were trying to find Emmanuel. They became critical as we continued through this investigation. But I want to talk about a little bit about the process because we've seen a number of questions related to Amber Alerts and things like that. So I hope when I finish this that everybody understand kind of the course of the investigation. But the investigation started for us on August 14th when Rebecca Haro reported that her son had been kidnapped. Folks, within 24 hours through video surveillance, we found inconsistencies in Rebecca's statement. And as a result of that, there was no other vehicle to put out on an Amber Alert or anything. And I know many of you were wondering why that didn't occur. But really, after finding out those inconsistencies in the statement on the initial report, that's where hundreds of hours of investigations have come in by our specialized investigations division to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on here. And when I say hundreds of hours, I'm talking about forensic data on vehicles, phones, and potential crime scenes, judicial authorized search warrants that were served. And through that process, that's where we learned that the jurisdiction of where this has occurred was in Riverside County. So hence the Riverside County DA and Riverside County Sheriff's Department, which I can't stress enough. We've had a long-term partnership. We work well together and we know how to get things done in these environments. But that's why the jurisdiction had changed from the original jurisdiction that was reported in, which is Yucaipa, California. But as we went through that portion of the investigation and realized that these things that had happened in Riverside County, you saw the culmination of all the different entities get involved. And going back to what Mike mentioned about the DA's office in San Bernardino County and high-tech crimes, forensically, there are a number of things that we were able to prove up that we're not going to be able to share today exactly how we did that, but there is a tremendous amount of evidence that suggests that the initial story posed was not the correct story. So in that partnership with our agencies, I'm going to introduce my partner, Chad Bianco, where this crossover occurred at Riverside, and we reached out to Mike, who's obviously filing the case, and of course, Chad to assist us in the investigation. Chad?
Thank you. Like Sheriff Dykes, I just want to thank all of you for, especially the normal mainstream media, for your attention to this and for your cooperation in this as we were assisting San Bernardino in this investigation, trying to originally find a missing baby, but then eventually quickly learning that that investigation was not something that it started as. Not so much for social media and keyboard warriors who quite honestly sometimes hamper and prevent us from a good investigation. I do want to expand a little bit about our relationship with San Bernardino. A lot from the media, a lot of questions have been raised about jurisdiction. And what Sheriff Dykes and I routinely talk about to our own communities isn't really necessarily displayed in the media or said to the media, but neither one of us care about jurisdiction. Our belief is that the Inland Empire is better served when we are cooperating and working together. And in this investigation from the very beginning, it was obvious that it could involve both counties. When something like that happens, particularly in this case, the original investigation began with Sheriff Dykes, and if he chooses to take it to the end, he will, which obviously he did. And my position is Sheriff Dykes is responsible for this and the assistance of my department. So there is no asking us. There is no anything like that. It is, we have to serve our public best. And he has every single available resource that the Riverside County Sheriff's Office has to offer to make sure that we provide justice in this case. This is an extensive investigation with both agencies that ultimately is headed by the supervisor of the Detective Bureau from the Sheriff's Office in San Bernardino. But the cooperation, as you can see, between the both counties is what is going to bring this to a successful conclusion. There is absolutely nothing, no crime more important than the injury of a human being, particularly a child. And the amount of resources that were expended to find this baby and to ultimately bring the people to justice responsible for the loss of this baby, I can't even tell you the amount of resources that were expended in this. It is a massive investigation that will obviously be ongoing, and we appreciate your efforts. This involves a lot of things, though, from us, and hopefully there are more questions to be answered, but I'll end it by saying this before we get into more questions specifically about this case. This was preventable in numerous ways. The amount of response we have had from the public, the enormous anger that a child was not only originally thought to be kidnapped, but then presumably murdered, kind of warms my heart a little
Welcome
bit.
in,
That
fam.
there is compassion still out there. There is care about other people. There is, people actually do care about other people. There is absolutely nothing worse than harming a baby. Broken
Salute,
bones,
Marty.
injuries, life-altering trauma. And had that case been successfully handled how it should have been, Emmanuel would still be with us today. So I thank you all for taking the time and the effort to make sure that the world sees this investigation, and we will successfully bring it to conclusion with the help of both DA's offices.
Thank you, Sheriff. I neglected to mention that Sergeant Nicholas Clark is the lead investigator on this case. So even though he's San Bernardino County, he will be functioning as the lead investigator on this case, which is ongoing. The investigation is ongoing, even though we have filed charges. And then Brandon Smith is going to be the lead prosecutor on the case, obviously Riverside County prosecutor. And with that, obviously, you all know, yesterday in court, we filed murder charges on both Jake and Rebecca Haro. We also filed filing of a false police report. And with that, I will take questions. I know you're going to have a lot of questions. I do want to lay some ground rules. The way we do it here is don't shout at me, no chaos, just raise your hand. I ask you to ask me one question at a time. I'll do my best to call on everybody. When we've gotten through everyone who has a question, then we can go back and ask more follow-ups, okay? So I'll start here on the front row. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, first of all, do you have any idea where baby Emmanuel is at this point?
You know, yes, we have a pretty strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are.
Where, I
So
wonder?
that investigation is ongoing at this time. Yes, go ahead.
Matt Johnson, Court TV. What was the information that led to the initial search off the 60 in Moreno Valley?
Sheriff, you want to take that?
I'm not going to go into grave detail about that, but there is some level of cooperation with the suspects involved in this, and we're trying to locate that, and our job is to follow every lead. But for the rest of the room here, we have to understand what you're dealing with is an experienced child abuser that is aware of a previous case, that is aware of evidentiary things that we are certainly concerned with. So we're going to take every step to not only work with any suspect or witness involved in this, because at the end of the day, we have to bring a case to Mike and they have to charge it. And we have to make sure that every single thing, no matter what is told to us or what we discover in terms of evidence, is the right thing and that we followed up extensively.
Okay, who's next? I'll go to you first and then to you. Go ahead.
Did you ask yet Fox 11 News? Do you believe you know how baby Emmanuel died or was killed, and is there anything you can share?
The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries. That's what we believe. Yes, sir.
Eddie with Action News. I noticed on the arrest records, the book records, that they do have Jake Haro as murder with malice and also another murder charge as well. Is there a second murderer claimed by the two?
We charged both Jake and Rebecca with murder. Who's next? Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
This is in reference to what Matt was talking about, but can you go into some detail about that case in 2023 and what happened there?
Sure.
And from my understanding,
Yes, I will. So in 2018, Jake Haro with his ex-wife, there's another child who they were prosecuted for child abuse as well, child neglect, cruelty. That child was also an infant, and that came to the courts, arrested in 2018. It came in to the courts in 2023. We had charged various felony crimes, child abuse, child cruelty. And our indication or what we wanted out of the case was prison. We believed it was a prison case and that Jake Haro should have gone to prison. Jake Haro pled straight up to the court which sometimes reporters get this wrong and you call it a plea bargain. Judges are not allowed to plea bargain. Defendants can plea bargain with the prosecutor, but when a defendant pleads up to the court, they plead to everything that they've been charged with, and they're essentially throwing themselves on the mercy of the court. In this case, a judge here in Riverside County, happened to have been a visiting judge from San Bernardino County, gave Mr. Haro a suspended sentence, which means, if I can translate for you what that is, it means that instead of sending him to prison, he chose to give him probation and suspend prison time sort of over his head, meaning that if he violated his probation, he would then go to prison. My prosecutor in the courtroom objected to that and said on the record, we object. We think it's a prison case. You should send him to prison. And the judge decided, as is the judge's right to do in that case, he decided that Mr. Haro deserved an extra break and gave him probation and basically 180 days of work release, which ends up being like community service. I will say that it was an outrageous error in judgment by this judge. And I don't have any problem saying that. I'm not attacking the judge personally. That decision was absolutely outrageous. Mr. Haro should have been in prison at the time that this crime happened. And if that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today. And that's a shame, and it's an outrage. And I hate to say that, but when our criminal justice system breaks down, I'm going to just call it like it is and tell you it broke down. It's not how it's supposed to work. The judge had obviously meant well. At the end of their sentence, he told Jake, I'm giving you a big break today. Don't mess it up. But I want to point something out to you. I want to read to you the injuries. The child's name is Carolina. She is still alive today, but she is permanently bedridden. She has permanent damage.
Wait a minute now.
Cerebral palsy that is a result of.
What he said her name is? I thought it was Promise Faith. What did he call her? That ain't her name, unless they told us something different.
She has permanent damage, cerebral palsy that is a result of long-term child abuse. I want to read to you the injuries. That she has permanent damage. That the child's name is Carolina.
Carolina. That wasn't even. It was, what was it? Something Rose. Maybe that was her first name and they changed it.
She is still alive today, but she is permanently bedridden. She has permanent damage, cerebral palsy that is a result of long-term child abuse. I want to read to you the injuries that were presented in court to this judge at the time of that previous prosecution. Acute fracture of the posterior left rib, fifth rib, healing fractures of the posterior lateral 6th, 7th, and 10th through 12th ribs, healing fractures of the 6th and 9th through 12th ribs, partial bone fracture of the skull, brain hemorrhage, significant prevertebral soft tissue swelling of the neck, and a healing tibia fracture of the right leg. This is severe abuse for an infant. And so whatever you think of the criminal justice system and people need a break, someone who does that to a child belongs in prison, period. Next question. Not to my knowledge, no. Yes. You know, I'm not going to, I can't speculate. I'll repeat what I already said. We believe that Emmanuel was severely abused over a period of time, and that that's the reason for the filing, the way it was, is that he was abused over a period of time. Both parents would have been aware of that abuse. I've already called on you, so I'm going to exhaust. Yes, sir. No, one question, sir. One question. I didn't say that, sir. I didn't say I know where the remains are. Well, you should get some rest, sir. You should get some rest. But no, I can't share with you anything. Look, there are professionals that are looking for the remains of this child. If the public has any information, then we ask for their help. So we don't know exactly where the remains are. We have some ideas in terms of where we're going to look and where we're going to continue to investigate.
But he didn't say that at first. When I could have sworn that he said they knew where it was or something to that effect. But that was Ahmed. That was on Atita. I didn't hear that the first time. And I just wondered what it was that really upset him. And so he told him, go on and get you some rest. They got them handling it or whatnot. And so let's see what else he gonna say. Sound like he going on. He only wanted to ask a one-part question. They already knew who he was, obviously, when he, when they first called on him.
Yes, sir, all the way in the back. No, I'm not going to do that. That's unfortunately, I understand it's an obvious question, but I just can't go into it. Those are things that the evidence will be presented in court, and I'll have to wait till we do that.
Exactly, Gab.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain? I know they both have charges filed against them.
Thank you, BFF. I didn't even see it.
Both were actively involved in abusing Emmanuel, or she was complicit in what he was doing, or the other way around. Can you explain any more of that?
All I can explain is what we've filed. We filed murder charges on both of them and making a false police report on both of them. So you can extrapolate that we believe that both of them are guilty, that we can prove it's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt for both the murder and the filing of the false police report. How it breaks down as to who did what, that also has to wait for the trial. So let me go this way. Okay. Pues ya dije lo que puedo decir. Fue una tragedia increíble y no hubiera sucedido. El juez hizo un gran error y juzgó mal y el sistema se quebró ese día.
Shout out to Bronx.
Fiscales, defensores, todos tenemos un deber y tenemos que hacer nuestro deber en nuestro trabajo. Todo lo que puedo decir.
Pero básicamente no debió de haberle dado la libertad bajo palabra.
Claro que no. Le dio libertad condicional y esto fue un caso de prisión. Cuando uno hace daño así a un niño, debería ir a prisión. Eso es lo que dice la ley. La ley dice que la sentencia debe ser prisión por crímenes de este nivel de gravedad. Y en este caso le dio probation. Okay. Let me go to you. I haven't called you. No, unfortunately, I can't. That has to wait for the trial to come out. Yes, sir.
Given the history that Jake has been obviously charged with previous child abuse cases, has CPS been involved with Emmanuel throughout his life at all, or have they ever checked upon the parents?
To my knowledge, CPS has not been involved with Emmanuel. I don't believe there was any CPS involvement in this current case. Let me go. I've already called on you. So have I called on you already? No, go ahead, please. I can tell you that that's not true. It's there's no confession made in jail. I'll go back there and then I'll come back to you, Rob. Yes. Yeah. Well, there's the 2-year-old and then baby Emmanuel. Yeah.
So I had heard that nobody has seen baby Emmanuel in that area. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, obviously he's shooting down everything that Ahmed put out there, basically saying that he confessed and or that the baby was found and all of that. So he's just wording it different, but obviously he confessed, or he said something to get y'all out on Highway 60. You know, even rather if he confessed to another inmate or a fake inmate, technically, if he told it to another inmate or fake inmate, that is confessing, because he just didn't know he was confessing. What a stupid self.
Going back there, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can take on you. My question is, how difficult is it going to be to try this case without finding baby?
You know, a no-body homicide is always difficult, but obviously with an infant, we know that baby Emmanuel didn't, leave on his own, or is not, didn't leave town. Obviously, it's a little different when you're talking about an infant,
Right.
but we have a lot of experience in this county trying no-body homicides, and we're confident that we can gain convictions in this case. Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk more about the search on Sunday? What led to that field and why that area?
Well, I think Sheriff Dyke has already explained that. He answered that question by saying there's been a level of cooperation with the defendants. So that's why they went to that area. But beyond that,
a level of cooperation is some type of confession, ain't it? He told y'all where the baby could be at. Like,
that's all I can say. Yes, ma'am.
I think the obvious question is, what happened? I mean, you did hear those reports that go over just asked about the jail confession, your authority to fake inmates get information, and the father confessed that.
Well, see, that's not true. So I don't know where you, well, no. See, this is what happens when you've got all these folks out there online and these keyboard warriors. You get a lot of misinformation, and what you just said is not true. It's misinformation. So that's what I'll tell you did not happen. Okay. I can't talk about the facts of the case. Well, no,
let me hear her.
giving you information about baby Emmanuel. I'm giving you information about the cases, information. So that's what I'll tell you did not. Well, see, that's not true. So I don't know where you, that's all I can say. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I think the obvious question is, what happened then? I mean, you did hear those reports that go over just asked about the jail confession, your authority to fake inmates get information, and the father confessed that.
Well, see, that's not true. So I don't know where you, well, no. See,
Oh, he said it's not true when she says something about the father confessing part.
this is what happens when you've got all these folks out there online and these keyboard warriors. You get a lot of misinformation, and what you just said is not true. It's misinformation. So that's what I'll tell you did not happen. Okay. I can't talk about the facts of the case. Well, no, I'm giving you information about baby Emmanuel. I'm giving you information about the cases and the investigation, but what you just said did not happen. And so, you know, that's not, I can't be responsible for when you guys get it wrong. Go ahead.
I know you have not found the remains yet, but based on the level of cooperation of the suspects and what you know so far, is the strong likelihood that remains were at least at one point in that land in general?
Yeah, I'm just not going to comment on that. We're looking for the remains. These investigation is continuing. We're hoping to find the remains of baby Emmanuel. Yeah, please, Sheriff.
This is to that and to the question before. A problem that we are having in this, based even on the question that was asked 2 questions ago, is someone posts something on social media and then you all believe that it's true. I actually complimented the mainstream media because you've actually been reaching out to us for comment and actually been printing what we've told you. It hasn't been the sensationalism and the wants for clicks for social media. And that is doing nothing but harming this investigation. And when you form your opinion and come in here and ask questions like that, you're not serving the public in any way. The question way earlier, get some rest. There should be no one out there looking for baby Emmanuel except for us, because all you're going to do is complicate things in the future. And the one thing that I emphasize that I want to make it clear here, the reason this is happening relatively quickly and the reason why we got such a handle on this fast is I believe that the Inland Empire is served better by their 2 sheriff's offices than any place in the state. And this particular case doubled its efforts. So instead of having 4,500 people looking for baby Emmanuel, you had 9,000. And so how did we get all of this information? It's called investigation. And we have 2 entire departments doing nothing but sifting through evidence, searching for evidence, trying to figure out what happened, who was responsible and how we're going to successfully prosecute it. And misinformation, lies, and purposeful misdirection is going to do nothing but harm this investigation. And I am begging all of you with cameras out here, don't be a part of it.
Okay.
Now, who was purposely giving misinformation?
You wasted yours in English? I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. No, I've already called on you. I'll go ahead. I started with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And actually, it was for Sheriff Bianco. I just wanted to follow up with you because the way you were talking so passionate about what should never happen is that injury to a child. How does this compare to other things that you've seen? You mentioned broken bones in children. You impact me by the way you said that. So I wanted to know how this impacted you.
So I have to, cops get a bad rap of being just heartless souls. I will tell you that most police officers are parents, either dads or moms. And there is nothing more traumatic for us to go through than an injury, a death, or harm to a child. Nothing. And there is absolutely nothing that we want more than to bring these investigations to a successful conclusion. And when we talk about why we're here in the first place, that we believe someone murdered baby Emmanuel, who should still be in prison, but we have this unbelievable love for criminals, believing that they're somehow victims, and now we're all traumatized by it. We were all in this room a couple of years ago when I had a deputy murdered because someone was out on the street that should have been life in prison, but a judge let them go. We have an absolute breakdown of the justice system, and we are not preventing other children from being harmed when someone like Jake is allowed to be out on the streets harming children. And so the anger that I have, the frustration that I have, then combined with the misinformation and everything else, when for all of us and our employees, there is nothing more important to us than the death of a human, particularly a child.
Okay. I'm going to work the back. Yes, sir. Well, we've got a lot of evidence. We're going to have to play that out in court. I can't lay it out here today. Okay, so yes, right next to him. I don't know if we're going to see the arrest warrant today. So that's a pretty short answer for Spanish. So yeah. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, and then I'll come back to you.
As far as the timeline, do you believe that baby Emmanuel was alive when the parents came forward?
I just can't say. I'm not going to give a timeline. Obviously, baby Emmanuel, we have a theory as to when his death occurred. And then I've also shared that we believe that when the parents came forward, it was to tell the public something that wasn't true. Go on which way? Go ahead.
Are relatives in this case cooperating as responsible? Can you tell us if they're shedding light?
There's a lot of witnesses. Investigators are tracking down every lead. I'm not going to focus in on who's a relative and who isn't. There's a lot of witnesses in the case that are shedding light. Yes, ma'am.
And you said you were going to what area were you focusing on and what manpower was kind of right now? You were out there saying in the area.
Right. So I'm not going to say, as Sheriff Bianco just mentioned, when you have members of the public that are out there doing their own searches, all it does is potentially prejudice and damage the case. So please let the sheriff's departments do their job. They know how to do this, right? We're helping with them, anything they need from us, but they are the ones driving this investigation, and they will track down every lead. I have all the confidence in both of these great sheriffs and their great departments. This investigation is ongoing. Yes, yes, ma'am.
In an effort to dispel all of that misinformation that we're seeing on social media, has a plea deal been offered to either Jake or Rebecca? Is that a possibility? And is this a death penalty case?
It's not a death penalty case. We did not and were not able to file special circumstances, and that's what would be required to be eligible for the death penalty. This is, we filed 2 counts of homicide, which in this case is murder, against both Jake and Rebecca. So not a death penalty case. What was the other?
Has a plea deal been offered
No.
to either one, and is that still a possibility?
No. We're not interested in a plea bargain with these individuals. We're interested in a trial and getting to justice. Yes, sir.
Where are we in terms
I don't know. I don't know. That's not something that I have any knowledge of. Going back, yes, ma'am. I think you just answered your own question. Of course, this is an investigation. We're searching for evidence. We've got two great sheriff's departments doing what they do best. So if there's a chance to find baby Emmanuel's remains, these men and women of these two agencies will do it. Yes, sir. Estamos aquí porque estamos acusando formalmente a Jake y Rebecca Haro de homicidio y de presentar un reporte falso a la policía. Los padres del bebé de 7 meses permanecen detenidos bajo una fianza de $1 millón. Más de eso no puedo comentar porque no puedo hablar sobre la evidencia en el caso porque eso tiene que suceder en un tribunal, en corte. No puedo comentar. No, dije que sí, estamos convencidos que el bebé fue abusado por un periodo de tiempo, o sea, tiene 7 meses, o sea, sobre su vida de 7 meses, que fue abusado.
So one of the things that I was thinking that Ahmed on the Tita, he must have stormed out after the sheriff came up and said what he said the second time, or he could have stormed out the first time when the DA, I think, Michael is his name, said something.
You should have said that. Not out here. Ain't nobody should be looking for this little baby but me. Motherfucker, that's the first time I ever seen you. Talking about you out here looking for him. You're out there answering phones and trying to run for governor, motherfucker. How you gonna tell me, dog, that to stay home? You didn't say that shit when you called me for my video. You didn't say that. You didn't say that when you called me for my videos, dog. So don't play my shit in court. Don't play my shit in court then, Chabianco. Don't play my shit in court then. Do not play my shit in court. My shit is inaccessible, homie. How dare you?
He told him to go and get you some rest. We got it. Get you some sleep. Yep.
Sobre tiempo. Yes, sir.
I am curious though. How do y'all feel about what they said? You know, how content creators are feeling behind that, especially the one that they was talking to, like, because that's who they talking to. They talking to on the Tita because he has been putting out a lot of information and he just got it wrong, thinking when he seen them out on the highway, he said that they found baby Emmanuel. But before the live stream ended, he said, well, I don't even know if they found him. And then he went live on another platform and he cleared himself. So he fixed it immediately, but you see how that's going. So a lot of people have been coming forward talking about that. And that's why I wanted to know, like, what part of it made him storm out. So it was, yeah, it was between the two guys, maybe the second time, but he was addressing both of them. Oh, and shout out to my BFF for getting rid of the troll that I didn't even notice. So yeah, I ain't read nothing you said. I ain't see you or nothing. So troll on.
Just for clarification, maybe Sheriff's Department, not Sheriff. There was a call for service that was generated by Jake that we investigated concerning a child abuse case. And that's all I can give you on that. And it wasn't Moreno Valley. No, No, not at this time. I think we've answered that already. If you are not getting information from his office or my office, you are doing our public an unbelievable disservice. We don't care what someone posts on social media. And if you all are going to believe that and then generate questions based on those comments, we're not going to get anywhere in this. If it did not come from our two agencies, stop believing it. That's all I can tell you.
Procurador, si me permite otra vez en español, y es, ¿cuáles son la razón por la que deciden acusar de homicidio a esta pareja? El cuerpo no se ha encontrado, ustedes conocen, pero ¿qué es lo que les lleva a acusar a estos padres de ser responsables de la muerte del bebé?
Son responsables de la muerte de su bebé por la evidencia que ya tenemos. Y es cierto que no tenemos el cuerpo del bebé, pero tenemos bastante evidencia y nosotros estamos convencidos que fueron responsables del homicidio de su hijo. All right, going forward, where am I? Did you have another question? Go ahead.
This is for Sheriff Chavianco. When you guys were on the 60th Freeway in the Badlands area searching, we did notice that Jake was out there with the sheriff's department. Was Jake trying to cooperate at any time with the sheriff during that search?
So we've answered that question, sir. That was Shannon Sheriff Dicus that answered that question of why they were out there. He said that there was some level of cooperation with the defendants, and that's all we can say. Yep, that's all we can say. Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel, because the baby was 7 months approximately when he died, born in December 2024, do you feel that there are people that let this baby down? Not only that judge who let Jake Haro down, but we're talking about 7 months of child abuse or several months of child abuse. Do you think there are other people who failed this baby possibly by not reporting what they were seeing, what they thought was happening?
Well, certainly this baby was failed by his parents. So that's first and foremost. So yes, beyond that, I can't comment. But yes, everybody failed this baby that was close to him. Yes. Yeah. So I can't comment on the evidence in this case, but what I can tell you is that modern homicide investigations are very tech heavy. And we have two very modern, cutting edge sheriff's departments in Riverside County and in San Bernardino County. And so, yes, what you mentioned was the high tech crimes unit of the San Bernardino DA's office, their Bureau of Investigation. They assisted. And beyond that, I can't say what they found. That can't get into the evidence. But yeah, this case is going to be built on, like almost all homicide cases now, electronic, digital evidence. It all comes into play.
Welcome in, the quiet one.
Ever seek medical attention for baby Emmanuel since he was born to the day he was missing?
I can't comment on that. Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
What's next?
What's next is, first and foremost, the investigation will continue, and it's led by the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, and then also Riverside County Sheriff's Department assisting, and then the prosecution will begin. We've filed the case. The case will begin to work its way through the criminal justice system here in Riverside County. Other folks, yes, we're coming to the end here, I think. Go ahead. Not at this time. No, we're not looking at anybody else. We believe that this is the filings in court that will be in this case. Now that could change if new evidence comes in. Yes, sir. I'm not aware of a house fire next door. So.
They ain't even know about the house fire.
I'm not going to comment. Sorry, I can't talk about that. Anything else?
Las acusaciones ahorita son asesinato malicioso, doloso. En español, si de encontrar el cadáver y otra evidencia, pudiera cambiar a que usted presentara cargos de asesinato
Sí.
Okay. So I just
Sí.
wanted to show y'all that.
Podría cambiar si
I just wanted to show y'all that. So that's the end of it right there. I wanted to show y'all this. These are their attorneys, apparently, and that's the information we have here. It says the Harold's parents now have new attorneys defending them. Jake's attorney actually defended a David Turpin. That's a case, abuse case, and they got life, from my understanding. A man, or 25 years or something like that. A man who, I can't even see that up, pleading guilty to holding captive and torturing the 13 children. That's crazy. Okay, and then this is the woman. This is the mother, the grandmother, I guess, of baby Promise. This is the picture that they had with the article that I was reading about Vanessa. So I'm assuming this is Vanessa's mom. And then let me see, where's the other and shout out to everybody in the building. Thank you for answering that, Miss Kathleen. Welcome in. And let me go to this part. Dang, I can't even. Okay, so just pretty much, I mean, I was trying to read what they said on here, but I'm sure it's the same thing that they saying in court. Y'all can see it right there. That is coming from the Riverside County District Attorney. It says, we understand how deeply the community and the media care about baby Emmanuel, and are eager for information about this case. We share your desire for justice and your desire for transparency. However, has been significant amount of misinformation circulating on social media, and which can be confusing and frustrating for everyone. Please know that we are committed to providing accurate information. Also, please understand that we are bound by legal and ethical responsibilities that prevent us from sharing detailed case information publicly. So on and so forth. That is what they said. They put it on social media. They're saying it there. And it's yet to be determined if Ahmed or Onatita actually stopped doing what he was supposed to be, stop researching and all of that stuff, because I had came across this after seeing Jake on the highway. I came across this, and so somebody was out there searching still.
Police most likely already grabbed his body because they were here for about an hour or two, and Jake said that he got the trash bag, threw it over. He threw it over, landed somewhere around here in this area, and this is where the police were. So they most likely got the body already. And, well, let's hope that's the truth. And, lay baby Emmanuel to rest. But I'm out here for you guys. I'm trying to, if the baby hasn't been found, I'm out here trying to find baby Emmanuel. It's really hard to walk through here.
So we know that the baby has not been found. He has not been found, but Onatita was piping hot after that press conference. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And I don't know whatever happened with the lawyer that they originally had, or Jake originally had. Let me see. They calling him the Timu lawyer. Oh, okay, there that is. But let me see what y'all saying. I'm gonna definitely be following this to the end, y'all. We are going to be following it to the end. The Quiet One. I'm surrounded by infants daily. I can't imagine someone harming one of those precious little babies. I'm telling you, little souls. How could you? And it's your own. I mean, this baby is helpless. Can't do anything without your assistance, and you do a baby like this. So that's it for us for our reporting today, y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all coming in. And please subscribe to the channel and also hit the thumbs up, y'all. That's a shame. Parents are monsters. His wife looked like she's a punching bag. Yeah, and that's exactly what I guess she was. That's how that's the love that he had for the women that he get involved with. This dude is, I don't know, is he the female of the relationship? Because he seemed real emotional. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And then this is also something that I came across. I can't see it though, because it's too, let me see. Yeah, I can't see it to read, but I wanted to put that up. And thank y'all for tuning in, y'all. But we gonna end the broadcast for now. I got another engagement, so I am gonna get out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please hit those reactions. That definitely shows love and support, and it help everybody know that we are live. So also this is part 5. So if you have not checked out my previous reports on our baby Emmanuel, please check that out. But I mean, this family is a piece of work. All families involved, every family involved, like his ex-wife, learning that situation, the new wife, learning that she has a brother that unalived his girlfriend and then set it up like she did it herself. And then his brother mysteriously unalived. I'm not sure about how that happened yet, but I did see where one of his friends spoke out and said that he wasn't that type of person. He was a good dad. He wasn't on that hard drugs and stuff like that. But I don't know. It had been a while since the guy has seen him. And Gab, shout out to Gab. She is saying, I don't know. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make this go viral. But as far as these people, hold on. We got to lock them on up. Go on and pack them up.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You going to jail. You going to jail. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass. Nanny boo boo.
Drop that fire and horns, y'all. Shout out to Talanda. Okay, Marty. Welcome in, Dawn. Or shout out to Dawn, I should say. Absolutely. A loser. You too, Marty. Quiet one. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Yeah, shout out to all our new subscribers. We have over 600 new subscribers. So thank y'all so much. Peace and love, y'all. We out.